I'm supposed to be talking about the things I miss about Korea. So I guess one of the things I miss about Korea is Korean. Yes, I actually really like the sound of Korean. I think it's so beautiful. It's like this. I don't know how to explain it. Like I don't know. It kind of sounds like a song the way they sing it. I know there's like a more elaborate way I could explain it, but I don't know. It's just beautiful to me. What else do I miss? I definitely miss customer service in South Korea. They put red bows around your pizza box. Like, you get pizza and you feel so beautiful when you get it. Like, it's okay that I'm going to gain weight. I feel beautiful eating this pizza right now. I just took this beautiful red bow off and I'm going to enjoy it. Like, you feel good about your service or when you're getting something in South Korea. Like, I used to go get facials, massages. What else? They had like the hot baths that you used to go to, and everything is about serving the customer, like making sure that you feel comfortable, making sure you feel good about yourself. And even in the stores, like, everything has its place. There's always somebody working to make sure the store looks nice. Of course, like, every place isn't perfect. You might have like a little store like in a market where things are kind of all over, but it's just, that's not the norm. I'm trying to think. Yeah, so definitely the customer service. When I was in the airport, the little carts that you get are free. As soon as I got back to San Francisco was where I landed first back in America. And I was like, I had to pay I think it was $9 to rent a cart for my luggage. I'm like, how much did my company, how much did they just pay for a flight? And now I have to pay $9 to put my luggage on a cart. And because I had like a big luggage, I had like 3 different luggages, or pieces of luggage. And I'm like, I have to have it. And then I had to pay another $8 when I got to Newark to get the cart again. I was just so pissed when I first got back to America. I was like, oh. So I definitely miss customer service. Another thing that I miss about South Korea is just like how quiet things are. And I don't know, a lot of people say it's due to Corona because they believe that, like, we're trying to keep our germs and stuff to ourselves, so we're not really talking as much on the train. And you'll see like signs that say like, don't talk on the train, blah, blah, blah. But I really appreciate that, first of all, people listened and followed directions. I mean, everyone didn't. It wasn't always perfect, but it would be like 2 older people. It wasn't like the norm for people not to follow the rules. And so you took a train ride, whether you were going into the capital or you were taking a 3-hour ride to Busan. It just was quiet and peaceful. Like, your brain could think. It wasn't loud. People weren't obnoxious. And it's like, I see videos of New York now and I can't even imagine going back to New York. Like, I used to go to New York all the time and like the hustle and the bustle. I'm like, yeah. But now it just seems so exaggerated when I see videos of New York. I'm just like, I could not deal with that loudness and obnoxiousness from people on the train. You would never see anyone like coming on dancing. Not where I was. I don't know, but I always took the train anywhere I went. So you would never see anybody coming on dancing, which I think some of that is cool, It's a cool vibe, but I think the older you get, you just want peace. So it was very nice for me to just have that time wherever I was going. And people did have conversation, but it was like low key, And I think there it's like time and place is like the important thing, It's a time and place for everything. Yes, they do dance, they do this, they do that, but it's a time and place for those type of behaviors. And if it's not the time to do it, then it ain't the place. And I really appreciate that. One of the other things that I actually miss, which is interesting, is the lack of small talk. Like, when I came back here, I was just like, we talk so much for no reason. Like, no reason at all. And this video is not to like play out America, because I definitely, am from America and I love being American. And being American definitely has its perks, and it's what it's just where I was born. But yeah, it's like I just realized, I was like, oh my gosh, like, we talk so much about nothing. Like, we just have to say something, even if, and I think we're uncomfortable with like that, like awkward lull, like, when there's no one talking. It's like we always have to feel that. And in South Korea, it's like there's no need to feel it. You know what I mean? It's just, it is what it is. Like, if I have nothing to say, I'm not going to make up something to say just to say it. And I just thought that was, when I was there, it was kind of difficult because I was always ready to like have conversation with people. And people would have conversation with you, especially like if you're a foreigner, they want to know like where you're from. And especially if you're Black, they want to know, just kind of like, why did you come here? Like, what are you doing here? And so that was nice. But all in all, like, I got used to it kind of quickly. I was like, oh, okay. Like, people don't really have like random conversation with people. Or like, if somebody has on something nice, I would say like, oh, I like your dress, but that's not a norm there. Like, they don't compliment people they don't know. It's like, if you're a stranger, you're a stranger. Versus here, where it's just like, you can be online with someone and just start talking to them about anything. And that doesn't happen there. But when I came back to America, I like appreciated it. I just felt like there was always someone filling the empty space. And when I was in South Korea, I started to appreciate the empty space, like the time when I was able to think and just have peace and just have quiet and have, thoughts to myself and just be in the moment and I don't know, enjoy people's energy without having to talk, using other senses. And I don't know if it was that deep for other people, but for me, I just appreciated it more so when I got back here. And I was just like, oh my gosh, stop talking to me about nothing. Okay. And also like in America, I feel like every time, like, well, at work, every time I see the same person, they always feel like they have to say hello. It's like, yo, I said hello 25 times. I just have hiccups. I said hello 25 times. I don't need to say hello again. So yeah, so I definitely missed that. I'm trying to see what else did I miss. I think that might be it. I really miss how much pride they put into everything. How I think when I was there, like, I really paid attention to like my dress and like how I presented myself. And it wasn't in a like a cocky way or like a materialistic way, because there they wear kind of like black, whites, grays, like Adidas, but it's like everything that when they left the house, like they presented themselves in a way that they would be proud of how they looked, and it just was inspiring for me to just like pay attention to, no matter what I wore, if it was like a sweatshirt like this or I was going to work, to make sure that that I looked nice and I looked presentable and I looked feminine and graceful. And so it was nice. I'm like used to like just kind of throwing on things, and especially when I'm like tired and I know I have a long day, not really putting a lot of time into myself. And I was like, ooh, how am I representing myself, So it was like in the morning, taking time to do my eyebrows, taking time, once in a while to do my makeup. I don't really wear makeup other than lip gloss. And so it wasn't a thing of like thinking, oh, I had to now like wear a whole bunch of makeup. No, I was still myself, but I just put more time into like making sure that, I did like a little, not mascara, but like the little brush on my eyelashes, and like I said, did my eyebrows and made sure my hair was like done nicely. I wore really cute earrings, and what I started doing there was I started wearing a lot more colors. They wear a lot of dark colors, but I was like, no, let me, I already stand out. I'm brown, I'm short. Well, they're short too, but I already stand out because I'm brown. And so I was like, why not go all for it? So I would wear a lot of like their not traditional clothes, but their style, which I liked, like the oversized sweaters and like the palazzo pants, super cute. Like that's one thing I miss. I miss their style. Oh my God. And it was like perfect because they're short like me. A lot of them are. I mean, it's diverse, but a lot of them are short and they have like, they're thin. A lot of them are thinner, but they are a little bit thick. Like, they're not like, a lot of people keep we're like, oh, are they really skinny? I'm like, no, that's like Chinese women. So Korean women are a little bit fuller, you know, a lot of them are. And so the clothes fit me nicely. Like they'd have that like big kind of look. And then I would like wear a cute scarf and like lots of colors. And I really missed the style there. But yeah, palazzo pants were my thing. The little capri palazzo pants with like some loafers, but they always had like color loafers, like red, blue, black, tan. So I just got like a whole bunch, and they were like really inexpensive. And so I would just get like a whole bunch, and then whatever, just have my outfit for each day, and just throw on a different pair of shoes and keep it moving. Another thing I miss is how inexpensive clothes are there. And now, don't get me wrong, they do have different levels. Like you could go to like regular malls and things like that. They have name brand like we do. But as far as like just like no name, like Korean style clothes, oh my gosh. My shoes that I got, I just ruined my shoes. I want to say like October. Like I looked down and I was like, oh, they're like falling apart. But they were $9 American there. $9 work shoes. And they were super cute, comfortable. So I missed that. Yeah, how inexpensive the clothes were there. And what was expensive? Oh, the meat and stuff. Groceries could get kind of expensive. When you go out to eat, it's inexpensive. It's not that expensive at all. And you always are going out with like a group. So usually, I mean, you guys are splitting the food. And so I would like spend $10 if that, $8 or whatever, if you go out with a group of people and doing like the Korean barbecue. So that was nice. Oh, one thing I miss is the Korean meds. Oh my gosh. I don't know what is in there, but I think like after quarantine, I think it was like my first week out of quarantine, or maybe the 2 weeks. And I had such a headache. I had a sinus headache. And I was like so nervous because this was like the first place I was really, really going to where I would have to like speak to someone. So I was like, okay. So I used my translator and I just like wrote it because I was like, I'm not saying it. So I wrote it, and I literally go in there and I like hand the pharmacist the phone. And he was like, oh, you have a sinus headache? I mean, clear as day, English. And I was like, I felt so stupid. I was like, oh, okay, yes. So, but yeah, their meds are so amazing. Like, I took that medication, for my sinuses, and it was like, the pain was gone like in 7 minutes. I had like some water, chilled, and it was gone. Like, if I ever got a headache at work, I would just go to the pharmacy really quickly. And then they had, okay, this is a little TMI, but they had this medicine, like if you had issues with your stomach. When I say it literally took out my soul, but I felt like a whole new person afterwards. So yeah, that was great. And then and then I had gotten, my face started breaking out. So I went to the dermatologist, and within like 2 weeks, my face started clearing up from the medicine they gave me. It was like little like astringent. Yeah. And it was bad. Like the marks were dark. It was like 1, 2, 3. You know, it's still light. You could still kind of see it a little bit, but it went away so fast. Their stuff works very, very fast. I didn't ask what was in it. I was like, listen, as long as it works, we're good. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I really do. I am going to go back to South Korea, not to work or anything, but my goal is to take my mom. I want to take her to Jeju Islands. And so, yeah, I can't wait to go back. I cannot wait to go back. Like, the more and more that I'm home, I really loved South Korea. Yeah, and I'm ready to do more traveling. But like I said, I'm going to let you guys know that when I finally get, I'm going to let you guys know that when I make a decision or everything comes together, I just want to keep my energy positive and clear. And there's sometimes some things that I just don't know that's going to happen, and people start asking a lot of questions when you're leaving, when you're doing this. But I realize it's because I put it out there. So Just know that, yes, I do want to continue to travel the world. Where I'm going next, I honestly do not know. And so I'm just in prayer. And I'm also in gratitude for where I am now. Like, I'm home. I get to spend time with my mom, my family, my friends. Even though we haven't really been out, my friends and I, but like I get to like talk to them on the same, time zone. And yeah, so it's just been great to kind of just get back and regroup and see what I would do differently, or if I would do anything differently with the knowledge that I have now from actually traveling and living abroad. But it is something that I absolutely love. And I try not to wish that I had started doing this earlier, because we all have our paths, so it's coming at the right time. So I'm just going to appreciate where I am now, working, getting some more experience working with K through second, trying to figure out, is that something I want to do? Also learning more patience, compassion. The young groups are difficult. My favorite age group is 4th grade. But I think there's a reason why I got the job at K through second. Like, now that I'm looking at it, I did apply. There was another position that was K through 5th grade, but the K through 2nd grade principal reached out to HR first. And so I was just like, I'll take it, and I already was familiar with that school. And so I was like, okay, I'll take it. It's not really the age group that I want, but, I'm not going to wait around to see if I got the other job, because I need to have something when I come back from South Korea. So, and like I said, it was a school that I was familiar with, so I didn't feel like it would be too difficult. It just would have to be an adjustment for me, because I was going to be teaching the young grades that are a lot. And it's so funny, because I had kindergarten literally like every single time I was in a classroom. I was like, oh my God. And in the beginning of the year, when kinder first comes in and they are just like crying and just, they don't even know how to walk properly. It's just like, oh my gosh. But I had to tell myself, like, don't get upset. Like, this is their age appropriate behavior. So it's like I had to change, and I had to like become more compassionate, become more patient, and I had to just make it fun, just laugh at like the things that were happening. And I allowed them to like love on me. They're so sweet. And it is still difficult, and all they want is love and attention. Yeah, so it's like you have to tap back into that, young child, and just have fun with them. Be stern, but have fun at the same time. But I was like, maybe that's what I might do some videos on, because some of them, though, that's another thing I miss. I miss the majority of the students, like the respect for teachers in South Korea. They definitely respect their South Korean teachers more, which can kind of be annoying, but it is much easier to like bring those children in. They're still children, but it's easier to bring those children in and get them. Once it's time for work, they are focused. They're doing that work. They're not playing around. And the ones that are, it's so easy to get them back focused. I used to always tell like my older students, like, listen, I know you don't do this with your Korean teacher. And they would be like, you know what I mean? It's like, oh my God, no, I don't. But they were so much easier to just like bring it in, with that foolishness. They didn't play around, and their parents don't play around. And I miss there are things that I feel like they need a little bit more balance with, but they're a newer country. So I think they are going to start to balance stuff out, because they do have a high suicide rate, because there is a lot of pressure in South Korea for the children. It's a lot, but I think they are starting to talk more about, they're not really calling it mental health, but they are starting to talk more about those pressures. I was talking to one guy at the salon. He owns the salon, Korean guy, and he was saying that it wasn't always like that, but with the change in jobs, like how they're expanding jobs, there is there's still less jobs to have in those higher positions. So the competition is like really real. So, but he was like, it's hard, it's a lot. So when he moved to America, he's like, wow, it's so free, and he was like, he feels sorry for the kids in South Korea because it is a lot. It's like they can dial back on it some, and still keep that same serious tone. But I think they think that they won't be able to do it, if they allow certain things, or if, academics isn't the number one. But it was beautiful to see. I definitely missed that, like how important school is, respect is, how there, like I said, that thing with the time and place, like there's a time and place to like play your video games. The weekends are for your family, and after school you're going to like an activity, and then you're doing your work. Now they are extreme. Like they allow their kids stay up way too late. They don't get enough sleep to me. So like I said, there can be more balance with that, but there's a lot that we can learn from South Korea, I think, and vice versa. But that is one thing that when I came back to South Korea, I was just like, wow, everything just seems so like wild. Like I was like, ooh, this is kind of like people's perception of us. And I see it now that I was like taken out of it and put back in. I was like, ooh, we do seem like kind of loud and a little bit obnoxious and wild. And I look at the students sometimes too, I'm just like, oh my god, you guys are so wild. Like, I don't know. So it'll be interesting for me to go and travel more and just kind of see other parts of the world and how they view education, and how they do things culturally. But yeah, so I'm going to leave it here. Send me positive vibes, positive energy for those things that are coming in my near future, and me continuously giving gratitude for where I am now in life, and working towards the future, but enjoying the present. All right, thank you for joining me in my vlog today.